Welcome back to the desk. Welcome to the least funny commentary video I will ever make.
And one of the worst videos I have ever seen on this platform. I proudly dislike this video because his argumentation is disgusting. Basically, to summarize it, Chris Brown is bad because he does criminal actions. And if you support Chris Brown, you support his criminal actions. That's how retarded the whole argumentation is. Let's begin.
With all the talk about R. Kelly's recent documentary, Surviving R. Kelly, where it was revealed on an even larger level, again, that R. Kelly is a piece of shit who has been abusing and trapping women for years, I was reminded once again of another problematic music figure that I continue to be shocked at how his career is not over. I don't know if you're familiar with a little pop singer, R&B guy called Chris Brown. Let's throw his picture on screen for the viewers at home. That's Chris Brown. But if you're not one for pop culture, and if you didn't have an iPod Nano in middle school, then let me fill you in. Chris Brown is an incredibly successful pop singer, having sold millions and millions of records. He's worth a lot of money, got a lot of brand deals. And he's a violent, aggressive, angry, mean, bad person.
Please keep in mind that people like him throw salt in Chris Brown's wounds when he brings up the fact that he supposedly assaulted Rihanna. I mean, nobody brings up the fact that Rihanna had a song called Man Down about killing a man because she was jealous that he was about to leave her. You know, nobody brings up that fact. Or the fact that Rihanna actually, after the whole assault allegation, teamed up with Chris Brown and made songs with him. So if anybody is supporting Chris Brown after the abuse, Rihanna is, if you like to factor in. I mean, if anybody who collaborates with Chris Brown, you say is supporting his criminality, then Rihanna is as guilty as anybody else. And I just like to point out the fact that most of Chris Brown's album success was when he was in his pop heyday, before you had Jason Derulo and a whole bunch of other people try to replace him after his image was pretty much destroyed. But if you look at his recent albums like Heartbreak on a Full Moon, which only sold like 68,000, or Royalty, which is not really that much important enough to actually mention, he hasn't really sold that much.
I did one thing that I've never done before for commentary videos, and that is research.
You don't have to convince me that you speak ignorance and you speak about subjects that you don't know what you're talking about. I mean, hell, you named Jamie Foxx as one of your heroes, and Jamie Foxx have a criminal record too.
You know how much of a gut punch it was for me, as I'm sure it was for many other people, when I have to look at some of my biggest, most personal heroes, like Jamie Foxx, who I consider is genuinely one of the most talented people ever to come through Hollywood.
Jamie Foxx was actually accused of sexual assault by a female like a few months ago, and he supposedly did the sexual assault in 2002. So I know this guy doesn't do research, but according to his logic, since he supports Jamie Foxx, he supports sexual assault, which I'm not saying that he does, but according to his logic, he does. So go to his chat and talk to him about that. And a year after supposedly, doing sexual assault on a woman, he had to be escorted out of a club by the local police because he was acting belligerent, and he was charged with trespassing, disturbing the peace, battery on a police officer, and he pleaded no contest. So he is, by all accounts, by the police and the justice system, a criminal. How come he doesn't talk about that? And I'm not saying this to besmirch Jamie Foxx. I'm just saying people do the wrong thing sometimes, and that we shouldn't judge people on their past. I mean, it just makes you look like an ass to me. And in this Me Too false rape culture world, I do not believe that Jamie Foxx actually sexually assaulted the woman in 2002. I just think that she's just saying this to besmirch his name and get some attention.
1. How in God's name is Chris Brown still so widely accepted and praised and successful in the music industry today? Thing 2. What is wrong with his enormous, undying legion of die-hard, cutthroat apologist fans?
To answer thing one, it's mostly because of Little Dicky, or maybe it's vice versa, because Chris Brown is way popular than Little Dicky. And ironically enough, Little Dicky was accused of sexual assault after he got into Kendall Jenner's body and actually wanted to search it without her permission. So I guess he supports sexual assault, I guess, according to his logic. And also, just because you support an artist's music does not mean that you support what the artists have done. Like, I like Michael Jackson. Supposedly, he did a whole bunch of things to kids. Doesn't mean that I support pedophilia or anything like that. I mean, you have to separate the artist from his music. Duh.
Chris himself aside, I find myself being especially disappointed and honestly just surprised that there are so many people that completely, unquestionably still just love and adore and support Chris. So if you enjoy what you see today and you agree that maybe beating people within an inch of their life is a bad thing, consider liking this video to combat the horde of dislikes that I'm sure are about to ensue. Now,
if you're against Jamie Foxx waving his crotch around a young lady, trying to make her suck it, and also Little Dicky possessing a young lady and sexually assaulting her, like this video now! Because you have to, or you support that shit. You have to like this video. Come on, man. Come on. To balance all the dislikes that I will get for exposing this guy. Come on.
And before I go down the list of all of Chris's legal transgressions, I want to tell you exactly what people who support Chris are going to say. If you try to criticize Chris Brown in any capacity regarding his violent behavior, his fans will respond to you in one of these 5 ways. He didn't do anything to you, so why do you care? Oh, that was so many years ago. Just let it go. You are a racist. Rihanna already forgave him, so it doesn't matter. And you are just jealous.
This is how I know this idiot doesn't watch his videos to check for any errors that he made. He has a numbering system that goes from 1, 2, 3, 4 to 7. What the hell is up with that? Very stupid. But he does not even target or tackle any of the issues or accusations or questions, I should say, that the Chris Brown demographic or fans actually ask. It's very sad to say. I mean, he just go through Chris Brown's criminal history like we already does not know. But I have to ask him, how come he doesn't tackle any of the accusations that is put forth? I mean, the first 2 questions are just basically straw mans. I mean, who, except for a selfish person, would even ask those questions? Now, number 3, I have to ask, how come he doesn't point out how Little Dicky is possessing Chris Brown's body and he wants to say the N-word so much? It's like if the equivalent of Chris Brown possessing Little Dicky's body and he just goes around saying grimy himey or the term the K word. I mean, how come he doesn't address that? And number 4, Rihanna literally forgave him and did multiple collaborations. How come she's not criticized? And number 7, that's how idiotic you are. You went from 4 to 7. But that's another topic. How come, I mean, you do seem a little bit jealous to the fact that he sold millions of albums, even though he's very controversial, or should I say hundreds of thousands, since we're in the modern age. I mean, you haven't addressed that either. Just seems a little strange to me. How come you brought these topics up and won't address them at all?
Now, when I was planning the video, I was going to do a section of the video called Shame on You, where I would look at Chris Brown's IMDb credits and I would go down the list of major motion pictures, major television shows, producers, and music people that have worked with him since his horrendous assault cases in 2009. But much to my heartbreak and disappointment, when I opened Chris Brown's IMDb page, I saw countless, dozens, hundreds of appearances on major TV shows, films, music projects, too many to count. And
I'm sad to inform you of this, but the most sampled artist in history, James Brown, he was a abuser. Paul McCartney, he supposedly admitted to abusing his wife on tape. And John Lennon, he beat his first wife, and also Yoko Ono had some bad things to say about him. Now, that doesn't stop me from liking either of their music at all. Hell, Charlie Chaplin, he actually titled some girls, some young girls at that, but he was still honored by the Oscars. I mean, there's a whole bunch of plethora of people I can name that actually did horrible, tragic things and repeatedly done crimes, but still is honored throughout history and Hollywood. Come on, man, get off your high horse and, I don't know, produce something of credibility like music or better videos or something. Come on, stop judging these people which you do not know their history or what motivates them to do these things.
Enough already. This is a constant display of shitty behavior. Clearly, Chris Brown has not changed a goddamn bit since he was fucking beating up Rihanna in 2009. I don't know what to do about it. I can't do shit. You think I can do shit? Here's how I'm lighting my video right now. This is a $10 light. I can't do fucking anything. Stop working with Chris Brown. Stop it.
So we end the video here. You know, the only noble thing about this guy is he's as cheap when it comes to making his videos as I am with mine. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, share this video. And guys, I'm out. This guy is a judgmental piece of shit, and I kind of don't like him. So yeah, this is one of the worst videos I've seen on YouTube. So yeah, you know, toodaloo. All right, goodbye.